When's the next Clubman episode, Tom? When are you next uploading, Tom? For God's sake, Tom, when's the next video? I've just been really busy, but guess what? This is the next Clubman episode, so let's jump straight into it. Now, I've not touched this car for 1 month, over a month in fact. It's possibly pushing on 2 months. The reason is a lot has changed in that time. And by a lot, I mean this. Said goodbye to the Golf and replaced it with this. Absolutely gutted to see it go, but you know, got to move on sometimes and do different things. Video to come soon. I don't know whether I mentioned it last time, but I've got a new job. I actually tapped away and begin to trial fit the other side of the floor, so that will be going on in this episode. And most importantly, the thing that's changed the most is something that I'm so proud to announce. I am now a homeowner. I own my own home and I'm on the property ladder and I get the keys this Friday. So there's going to be a new series coming to YouTube on a different channel just to fill in the gaps between this. Sadly, and before we jump in, I'm not moving house. So this garage is going to stay here. I'm still going to be living at home, but I've bought a house to renovate and eventually move into. So there will be videos coming on that on another channel if you are interested in that, just to fill in the gaps on this. Because this eats a lot of money. I just feel like I'm just going, there you go, just take the money and run. And also the house renovation is going to take a lot of money that I don't have, so I'm probably going to end up spiraling out of control in debt and going bankrupt. Not a wise idea. So they're the things that have changed. There is more probably changing. The Mini, the red Mini, I've not even driven for about 3 months. It's been whacked up in a garage. It's just if you've ever bought a house, and I'm presuming that a lot of you have been through this, it's annoying. You spend so much money on solicitors. You pay them. 1, you can't get hold of them. 2, they don't want to talk to you. And 3, everything's awkward. They want to know how many times I have my hair cut every month. And if you know me, it's a lot. So enough of the complete and utter dribble of the house. What we're actually going to be doing in this episode right now is we're going to be making the final cut across the floor here so we can put it up. We're going to use a flange tool, my favourite tool, and then we're going to flange it off and then hopefully clean and prep and get a bit of welding done. And with all that said, you've not seen some buttery shots in quite a long time. So cue the buttery Kit Kat shots. Every time I whip out the grinder on this project, it feels like I'm left with less and less of the TurdTec estate. However, in this life you have to speculate to accumulate, and once this car is done, the reward will certainly be great. So you join me in this episode, cutting more metal, sniffing rust, whilst running the risk of breaking my ever so precious nails. Just before I do begin explaining what's going on with the car, we've not done this in a while. Hello? Can I have a nice juicy latte, please? Please? Anyway, whilst the juicy latte is being made, this right here, we've cut them pieces of metal off. Scrap pieces there. What you'll find is there's a lot of this stuff on here that's like bitumen, and that's on the inside, it's sound deadening. So we're going to knock a screwdriver down now with the seam that you can see on the screen, split it, prep both the areas, offer the panel up, draw a nice line, cut the new panel, flange, and then hopefully weld it. And then we've got the cross member to do, which I've actually got stored upstairs. I'm waffling, let's just get on with it. As I waited the arrival of the juicy latte, only to be disappointed with a cup of tea, we scuffed, scraped and even smacked the bitumen out of the way. Ready for that juicy clean new metal to be bonded together using my amateur welding skills. Oh dear. More to the point, lifting the new floor in and out of place was becoming ever so tiresome. As always, it's absolutely raining, well, pissing it down outside. This is trial fitted, we've cut that line now, it's nice and snug. Now it's time to break out the flange tool. Ooh, flange. Don't we all love a good bit of flanging? Well, I do. Anyway, here's my favourite tool, and here's me using it. Enjoy, ladies and gents. we've offered the panel up. I've flanged the actual new panel in the opposite direction, and I've flanged the existing car body in the opposite. So basically when they go, they can interlock and straighten. Now there is a bit of play, obviously we'll have to use some self-tappers before we weld it. I'm not happy with the fitment here. You can't really see it, I'll show you in a second. It's just not brilliant. So we're gonna have to do a bit of playing around with that. And then once I actually get this in, I'll be happy because we can do the cross member, take the braces out, and then we can start chasing the rust around the rest of the car. But this is a big task, this is probably one of the biggest tasks on the car, is just getting rid of the rust here. But we're getting there, and soon it'll look nice and thorny. So let's have a look at this, I'll show you what I mean where it's not fitting. So if you look here, it's standing a bit proud, so I'm going to have to grind a bit off and take a bit away. If you're wondering why this gap's so big, it's actually because I've bent the heel board in that direction, just to allow me to get the panel in, and we are replacing the heel board because it's absolutely gazeboed. It is sitting a little bit low here, it feels like that wants to pull out, but I don't want to put too much stress on the panel. The idea is to put the panel on and there should be no stress at all. Here, we're looking like, if we just do that little hack again, there we're pretty much lined up, just everyone's knocking out of it. Down here, bottom heel toe board ruined, so we're gonna have to do some plating up there. So now everything's flanged and hole punched with my favourite tool, this little buddy here. It's about time I've shown you all the latest addition to the TCR workshop. I've only gone and bought myself a spot welder, mate. Yes, mate. So this should make the floor works a lot quicker and smoother, and obviously a lot stronger because we're down to the spot welds. Now, if you're wondering where I got this spot welder from, a guy called Reese Williams down south, one of my friends from who I met through Paul P Mini Build, or Juiced Mini. Vtec Echo, check his channel out, he does things, and he's got an absolutely insane Vtec Mini, hence the Vtec Echo, but the front light just sort of bends out and looks like a transformer basically. So I want to thank him, he did me a great deal on that, he's finished with it, bought it off him, and we'll use it, and then you never know, if we don't need it, we'll pass it on to someone else in the future. So that brings me back to the floor. Let's just get it in, because I did say we'd have it done for Christmas. So in 3, 2, 1, cue the butter.
Clean metal, U-pole weld through primer, and lifting the floor panel into position for one final time. What a great feeling. And the best bit is these beautiful eargasmic and eyegasmic shots I captured whilst doing so. Let the snap, crackle and pop commence.
Now, a lot of people have asked the question, what do we do about heat dissipation? Look at the state of this. Heat dissipation, or heat warping. Panels can warp when you put a lot of heat into them, such as welding and all stuff like that. They can warp, bend and twist, and they just look crap, and you can get the poppiness when you press it. You sound a bit like Rolf Harris with the panel, and it can actually twist and manipulate the way the car sits and holds itself together. One way around that I found, and it's only a little tip that somebody's passed on to me, I can't remember who, if it is you, drop a comment below, is to keep the air gun nearby. Keep this nearby, do your weld, as it's glowing, just about to dim, blast it with that, get rid of it, blast it with that, and then cool it down, and it'll just stop the heat going all the way through the panel. If you do it too soon, you won't get the metal penetration as you want, because as you weld it, the heat squeezes into the panel and that's what bonds it together. So let it glow, as it's just about to dim out, give it a blast of air, and it controls the heat going through the panel. That's just the top tip. The other thing is, in this episode, there's not really much more to show you other than the fact I'm going to weld all the way down here. I can't do the other side, which is the seams down the side of the car yet, because I've not got the door steps there, currently on order, and I'm hoping to receive them this Christmas. The main aim in all of this task was to have the floor done for Christmas. We are on track. If it runs slightly into next year, it doesn't matter because we've done the main bunt of the works. There's a bit of plating up work to do on the bulkhead, which we need to sort out really and find out where the overlap's going to go. And then once we've done the floor, we can move on to the door steps, the sides, the bulkhead, the rear, and we can just basically continue chasing the rust around the car. I will finish this car and one day we'll have a Honda lump in it. So with all that said, let's spin the camera around and find out where my attention to detail and focus will be being spent for the next 12 months. It isn't car related, I'll be sad to tell you, but don't worry, I won't be bombarding it on this channel, there'll be another channel. So let's just head right there now and I'll explain why there's not been as many updates on this car for so long. So I'm here in Wales. This is my first ever property, the one I've bought, the one I've been on about. The reason why there's no car videos been around. And the rest of the stuff is going to be filmed about renovating this on another channel. So if you want to follow that, there'll be a link in the description, you certainly can. It's going to be gutted and started from scratch. But with all that said and done, I want to thank you for watching this video. I wish you a happy Christmas and a happy New Year. And I'll see you when I next see you in another video. Cheers.